You've been chasing her, texting first, double texting, triple texting when she leaves you on read. You've been the one asking how her day went. You've been the one making plans. You've been the one carrying conversations like a pack mule carries weight. And she's been distant, cold, pulling back every time you lean in. Here's what nobody tells you about disappearing the right way. It's not about games. It's not about manipulation. It's about reclaiming your gravitational pull. Listen closely. Every time you chase, you're telling her brain one thing: I'm not valuable enough to be chased back. Every time you initiate, you're programming her nervous system to expect your attention as a given. Every time you're available, you're teaching her that you're the safe option, the backup plan, the guy who will always be there. And her psychology, it stops working for you. It starts working against you. Because here's the brutal truth about female psychology and attraction. Women are wired to chase what's pulling away from them, not what's chasing them. Think about it like this. You're a magnet, but you've been pointing the wrong pole at her. You've been pushing when you should have been pulling. You've been present when you should have been absent. You've been predictable when you should have been a mystery. Now, before you go ghost mode like some bitter ex, let me teach you how to disappear the right way. Because there's a massive difference between disappearing out of hurt and disappearing out of power. One makes you look weak, the other makes you magnetic. The first thing you need to understand is this: your absence has to feel like a loss, not a relief. If she's already pulling away, if she's already treating you like an option, then your sudden absence might actually feel like freedom to her. That's not the disappearing act we're talking about. The disappearing act that creates obsession happens when you withdraw your attention at the peak of her interest, when she's getting comfortable with your presence, when she's starting to expect your texts, when she's beginning to factor you into her emotional routine. That's when you create the vacuum. Here's how her brain processes your disappearance. Stage 1. Confusion. Wait, where did he go? He usually texts me by now. Her brain starts scanning for patterns. You've been consistent, now you're not. This creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. Her mind needs to resolve this gap. Stage 2. Curiosity. Did something happen to him? Is he okay? Did I do something wrong? Now she's thinking about you more than she was when you were always available. The absence is occupying more mental real estate than your presence ever did. Stage 3. Validation seeking. Maybe I should reach out, just to check in. Now she's doing what you used to do. She's initiating. She's chasing the validation she's lost. Stage 4. Obsession. Why can't I stop thinking about him? Your absence has created a psychological loop in her mind. She's trying to solve the puzzle of where you went. But here's the critical part. This only works if you disappear from a position of strength, not weakness. If you disappear because you're hurt, because you're trying to punish her, because you're playing games, she'll feel that energy. Women can sense desperation from a mile away. But if you disappear because you genuinely have better things to do, if you disappear because you're investing in yourself, if you disappear because you're not willing to accept breadcrumbs, that creates the kind of absence that haunts her thoughts. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. You've been talking to a girl for weeks. The conversations have been good. She's been responsive, but not enthusiastic. She's been available, but not eager. You recognize the pattern. You're more invested than she is. Instead of doubling down on your efforts, instead of trying harder to win her over, instead of becoming more available, you step back. Not out of anger, not out of manipulation, out of self-respect. You stop texting first. You stop carrying the conversation. You stop being the one who makes all the plans. You redirect that energy toward your own life. You hit the gym harder. You focus on your career. You spend time with friends who actually appreciate your company. You become genuinely busy with genuinely important things. And something interesting happens. The space you used to occupy in her life becomes noticeable. The attention you used to give her becomes missed. The validation you used to provide becomes craved. Now, here's where most guys mess this up. They disappear for a few days, then come crawling back with some lame excuse. Hey, sorry I've been MIA. Work's been crazy. That's not disappearing. That's just being inconsistent. Real disappearing means you don't explain yourself. You don't apologize for your absence. You don't make excuses for why you weren't available. You simply become unavailable, and you stay unavailable until she reaches out. And when she does reach out, because she will if you've done this right, you don't reward her immediately. You don't drop everything to respond. You respond when you want to respond. On your terms, in your timing. You've shifted the dynamic. You're no longer the one seeking her attention. She's the one seeking yours. But listen carefully to this next part, because it's crucial. This isn't about playing hard to get forever. This isn't about becoming emotionally unavailable permanently. This is about resetting the power dynamic so that when you do engage, it's from a position of choice, not need. When you do give her your attention, it means something. When you do text her, it's because you want to, not because you're desperate for her response. When you do make plans with her, it's because you're genuinely interested, not because you're trying to convince her to like you. The obsession she develops isn't about the games you're playing, it's about the man you're becoming, a man who values his own time, a man who has options, a man who doesn't need her validation to feel complete, a man who disappears not because he's weak, but because he's strong enough to walk away. That's the man she'll obsess over. That's the man she'll chase. That's the man she'll respect. Because here's the final truth that cuts through all the noise. You can't make someone obsess over your presence until you're willing to take away your absence. You can't be magnetic until you're willing to repel. You can't be chosen until you're willing to not be chosen. Your power isn't in how much you can give. Your power is in how much you can withhold. Your value isn't in how available you are. Your value is in how selective you are. Stop chasing what doesn't chase you back. Start disappearing into the man you're becoming. And watch how quickly she starts appearing in your life again. The right woman won't punish you for having standards. She'll respect you for them. She'll chase you for them. She'll obsess over them. Because a man who knows when to disappear is a man who knows his worth. And nothing is more attractive than a man who knows his worth.